Hey, I'm Sam and I do design, and in the video today I'm answering all of your questions. In the last video, I asked you guys to comment down below and ask me some questions that you want answering. So I'm going to go through those questions now and give you the best answers that I can. I haven't really read these questions yet, which is the same mistake that I made in the last question answering video. But let's just hop right in and we'll see where we go from there. So the first question we've got here is from Jessica Hearn, who is a great friend of mine from back home. She asks, how do you manage your schedule with a full-time job as well as sketching and filming for YouTube? That's a really difficult question. I think at the moment, this is everything that I'm doing, which is really fun. And also on top of that, I drink so much coffee. My resting heart rate is about 75, 79, which is not great for a 23-year-old. I'm just always raring to go. So just always on the go, always doing something, never some downtime. But that's because design is my downtime. I really enjoy doing it. So this is what I do in my spare time. The next question is from Rosalind Moore, who is my girlfriend. She wants to know what to get me for my birthday, which is coming up in a few weeks, but I'm not going to tell her anything. And how do you get ready for filming your videos? Actually, if you check out my Instagram story recording now, on a Wednesday night, I've just posted my setup for this video, which is lights here and the camera and the microphone. So yeah, go check that out on Instagram stories. The next question is from Mateo, who asks, did you go to college having previous art and design skills, or art and sketching skills? I've always been sketching growing up, and I've always been creative growing up. I wasn't amazing at things like maths and the academic subjects like that. I really enjoyed science, but keeping information in my head, not great, which for exams and stuff, not amazing. But I really like to learn new things. So I've always been creative as a kid. And then going into college, I always did the artistic subjects like design technology, fine arts, and things like that. So it's just kind of build up over the years. But going into university, yeah, I had all those years experience learning as I went along as well. This next question is from Sene, and they ask, they're from the US, and they recently had some time abroad in London and Europe. How do you get a job fresh out of college when you're a foreigner and not from those places? The place that you're from doesn't really matter. It comes down to the portfolio, and your portfolio might be influenced by where you're from, so that might have an effect on it. But as long as you're willing to move to the place that the work is in, I see no issues. Just apply to those places. Let them know in the first paragraph of your email or covering letter or however you reply, let them know that you're willing to move to that area and you're looking at places already around there. And yeah, just take it from there, open the conversation with them, and they're more than happy to take people from outside the country. So yeah. Go for it, absolutely. The next question is huge. I think I got the gist of it from Nia is they've always been into automotive design, but they haven't pursued automotive design over the last few years. They're now in a position in their final year of masters, their thesis year, to go back into automotive design and sort of learn as they go along. Which I think is really tricky. That is a really tricky route to go down. I've never done a master's, so I don't know how it works, but this is my viewpoint on it. Your final year of university or master's or whatever should be a culmination of all of the skills that you've learned so far, and it's you putting those best into practice. Now, I know this because my final year of my undergraduate, my major project, I decided to learn new skills, and I wanted to do lots of different things that would, or I believed would help me in the real world afterwards. So I learned a lot about I started to learn a lot about app design and UI design and things that I'd never picked up before ever, really. And my grades in final year were impacted because of that. Having said that, I now know those skills, and now that I'm in the real world, I use those skills quite regularly, and without learning them within my final year, I wouldn't have been able to do the types of jobs that I'm doing now. So, my advice would be, if you want to go into automotive design after you graduate, yes, go for it, but only on the basis that you have the relevant people around you that can teach you the skills you need, and you're willing to learn those skills with the learning curves they come with and put the effort in for your masters as well. So you're basically doing two things there. You're doing your masters and the learning curve as well. If you think that you can do that and you've got the people around you to support you and guide you, absolutely do it. If you want to play it safe and go and do the things that you've always been doing before and put those into practice, I think that your grades will benefit from it. But it depends on what you want to do afterwards, if you want to go into that field or if you want to go into automotive design. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, I don't know. That's a really difficult choice. Talk to your tutors, talk to your lecturers, see what they say. But I would say, as a final note, this has been a long answer to a long question. My major project for university I wasn't fully invested in because I wasn't really invested in the subject matter. So there was already a barrier there. I feel like if I picked something that I was more interested in, I would have gone for it even more. But yeah, there's always going to be that trade-off. Ask the people around you who know your situation better. But that's all I can say. Okay, so the next question is from Hannah. And she's asking if I would recommend doing a design exchange course, studying abroad, maybe. Yeah. So I didn't do a design exchange in a different university. The way that Brunel University does it, which is the university that I went to, is you could pick for your third year, you get two choices. You can either do an exchange year and go to one of the sister universities around the world to study there, or you can go into a placement year and go and work in the industry for a year as an intern and get experience that way. I did the placement year, so that means that I went to work for a company, got all the experience that I could, and actually then I finished the 6-month internship there. Then I went for a second company and did the next 6 months at that company, and that is actually this company here, Precipice Design. I did my second placement half year at Precipice Design, and they invited me back to work once I graduated. There are friends of mine that did exchange years, and they absolutely loved it, met so many new different people. So I would absolutely recommend, if your university doesn't offer a placement scheme like Brunel, do everything you can to get out there in the world and experience something else from someone else's point of view. Absolutely, it's really, really vital experience. Okay, and then I think this is the last question. From Kunal, and again, this is a big question, guys. Wow. So this comes up a lot in design where you're not great at sketching. A lot of people aren't great at sketching and design and they want to get better. And the frustrating thing is you can't put your idea from your head down on paper, and anything that you do on paper doesn't look as good as you think it does in your head. I get that all the time as well. There are so many sketches that I've done where I just haven't posted them because I think they don't look great and it looks so much better in my head. That happens to all of us. You're not alone. The next thing that I would say is you don't have to sketch to be a good designer. And I've got another video on this if you want to check this out. I don't know how YouTube works yet. Maybe I'll put it up here if I can. I don't know. But basically, sketching isn't the only way to design. If you can think it, and you can communicate it, that is design. So what I would say is maybe you're better at sculpting things out of clay, maybe you're better at carving things out of blue foam, maybe you're better at 3D CAD. There are so many things that you can do to get your idea across. The thing that you're struggling with at the moment, I think, is time. These skills that you're talking about, getting better at design, getting better at sketching, it's so cliched, everyone says it, I'm really sorry, but it just is time. Scroll back down through my past Instagram feed. You can see where I, really old posts, I'm kind of a bit embarrassed to keep them on there, but I'm proud at the same time to show how far I've come. That's with time. Like it's literally a chronological order of time that I've gone through and sketched. So sending pictures to me, you can send stuff over, you can tag me on Instagram and ask for advice. I don't always see those, which makes me reluctant to say, yes, send me your stuff. I don't want to promise things that I don't want to let anyone down. So if I see it and you've asked me for advice, then I will give you advice. But sometimes I don't always see it, and I don't want to do that. So my advice would be try other creative techniques to get your ideas across. It doesn't have to be sketching. So thank you guys for commenting on the last video. I hope the answers that I gave you today were a little bit informative. I know I sort of did the cliche answers, so I'm really sorry about that. But it's honest advice that I would give you guys. And it's actually advice that I would give myself as a designer going into university moving forward as well, if I was to do it again. So I hope it's been even a little bit helpful. I'm going to be on YouTube a little bit more over the next few weeks. I've got so many plans for videos. Hopefully, if it all goes to plan, I've got a new series coming out on the Advanced Design Sketching YouTube page. So absolutely go and check that out. They are huge and amazing on Instagram, such an amazing community on there. And I'm going to be working on their YouTube channel for a little bit to do a collaboration type thing, which is really exciting. Yeah, go and check them out as well. And as always with YouTube, don't forget to like this video if you learned anything, and comment down below if you want to cover anything else in future videos, and comment, like, yeah, subscribe as well, and hit the bell button and everything else that YouTube asks you to do. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. This is a big question, guys. Wow. So this comes up a lot in design, where you're not great at sketching. A lot of people aren't great at sketching in design and they want to get better.